G'day and welcome to today's episode of the WynActive Webcast. Today is massive. We have got a huge, as you can already see, we've got a lot of guests, some really interesting stories to tell you, and I'm really looking forward to it as per normal. As I always do, I'd like to welcome James Robertella from Wyndham City. It's great to have you on board again, James.
Yeah, fantastic to be here, Barry. And as you can tell, we've certainly increased the number of people involved with our webcast today, and excited to find a bit more out about what these three awesome ladies do in for the Wyndham City community in the area of age and disability. And I think it's an important time where some of these communities are some are more vulnerable, and I'm interested to learn around what our council are doing to support them. And to kick us off, I'd like to introduce Amanda Burns, the Positive Aging and Disability Community Development Officer. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me on.
Fantastic to have you here. And then I'd also like to introduce Barbara Taylor and Renee Delamere, both area leaders for the Age and Disability Unit at Wyndham City. Welcome, Barbara, and welcome, Renee.
Thank you. It's great to be on here today.
Ladies, thanks. It's really good to have you, and I'm interested to learn about your areas and how you're supporting the age and disability sectors within Wyndham. It's a fascinating area, but an area that is so important on an ongoing basis, but especially so during these times as well. So perhaps, Amanda, we might start with you. And in a normal, before all of this crisis happened, what's your role and what do you do?
Sure. Well, I work within a kind of more diverse team. My role is not service delivery, so I'll leave that sort of side to Barbara and Renee. They can have a bit of a chat about that side of it. Within my unit, we cover a whole lot of stuff, and ageing and disability being one of it. Aboriginal, Torres Strait Islander, multicultural, LGBTIQ. We cover a whole host of different things just within our unit. And on that note, I would just like to pay my respects to elders past and present, and for any elders who may be tuning in today. So just like to kick off with that. But in a normal run-of-the-mill day, I won't be sitting here in my living room. Basically, I'm out and about a fair bit within the community, just checking what's everyone up to, what's happening, and where, as a council, we can support the people within the community. So I suppose a couple of ways that we do that. I'll start with the disability side of it first. We have what's called our Wyndham Disability Support Network. So that's a huge kind of network that we normally host as council. It's normally in a meeting sense, and in between we share lots of information. So that is made up of, there's about 300 to 400 members within that network, and that doesn't cover 300 to 400 services, but because there's multiple people. But it's basically an opportunity for mainly service providers, although we do have other people who just have an interest in disability or part of advocacy groups, and are actually really out there doing that stuff on the ground as well. So we have those interested people on the network, and it really just is a place to all come together and work collaboratively on how do we increase our presence of disability in the community, making sure that people who have disability in our community are getting the things that they actually need, and how do we work together to promote other services within Wyndham as well, so that people are getting the right service for them. Recently, in the last couple of years, they've rolled out the National Disability Insurance Scheme. So that's been a big focus in making sure that people are getting the right supports that they need, because it's quite a different world, I suppose, from what's gone before.
Mm-hmm. Amanda,
that's kind of one of the things that we do. Yeah.
Do I detect an accent there?
No.
Oh, really? All right.
What gave it away?
Look, I don't know. It might be a slight little twang there. So, where are you originally from?
Yeah, I'm from Scotland, so I'm from Glasgow.
I'll
West
tell you
of
what,
Scotland.
James, we're being taken over by Scottish people between you and I.
Yeah, I think we've had a few on board, but they make it fun. So and going back to you, Amanda, what in terms of the age side of your work, what does that sort of focus on? I suppose prior to COVID-19.
Yeah, so a big focus of my role in the ageing side of stuff is the Seniors Festival. That's one of the biggest things that we cover from my point of view in the year. And what Seniors Festival is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's really about celebrating our older adults in the Wyndham community, and I suppose giving back to them, making it a fun environment, fun time. So generally council will put on some events that anyone can come along to and be part of it. And we also provide some funding to community groups who want to run their own smaller sort of scale events, so that we can have a broader range of activities and events for our older adults in the community. So that would be probably the biggest part of my role in terms of ageing. But there's that comes with a whole lot of other things in terms of out in the community, building that capacity with community groups out there, seeing who can do what and what support council can offer them.
I mean, there's a large breadth of work there, and I'm fortunate enough to be involved with or a part of the Wyndham Disability Support Network, Barry, and I can tell you that there's whenever you attend one of their quarterly meetings, you've never seen more passionate, happy, supportive people in one room. And I know that they've received a lot of accolades for that particular group. So keep that work up, Amanda.
It really is. It's a great network.
Mm-hmm. Moving to you, Barbara and Renee, and I suppose we were chatting offline a bit before that. Amanda's in that community development space, and you're in that community support space, and as she sort of touched on, I suppose you're the feet on the ground, and the face of this fantastic work. Can you touch on what your community support involves?
Yeah, sure. So I'll lead in, Renee, and then feel free to add. So basically, we lead, support and coordinate the delivery of the age and disability services that council operate. So as Amanda touched on earlier with the National Disability Insurance Scheme, we used to provide service to a lot of people that have now transitioned over to the NDIS. So we're not an NDIS provider, but we are funded to provide services for people under 65 under the Home and Community Care Program. So a lot of those people are people that have not been eligible or haven't tested their eligibility for NDIS. So we can still provide supports and assistance to that cohort of residents. And we also support to people over 65 through the Commonwealth scheme. So that's going through My Aged Care, and we support them with domestic assistance, personal care, social support groups, delivered meals, property maintenance, just to name a few. So there's a range of clients. We've got probably about 1,300 odd older people that we support, respite services as well too. And with the transition from NDIS, we've got a smaller cohort of under 65, but probably about 150 at the moment that we're supporting with similar services, basically.
That sums it really well.
Renee, like Barbara, you just told us briefly some of those things that you do. Yeah. Do you want to expand on some of those, Renee? Because I think it almost sells short what you're doing.
Yeah, of course. So Barb manages one side of the unit, and I manage another part of the unit. So if I can talk a bit more about mine, because I'm a bit more okay with it. And to give a bit of context, I've only been with council for the last, I guess, 9 months, and so getting my head into council space has been interesting. But along the way, I have learnt that there are group services, So planned activity groups, which we have 2 centre-based facilities here with Wyndham Council, one at Central Park and the main facility at Penrose, where we deliver planned activity groups for generally the older cohort, but there are younger ones with early onset dementia or your physical disability who need that social support and just being around others, give them things to do, activities. They come in for a few hours a day, go home, have a lunch and go home again. So we have those, I think we have 2 programs running every day of the week at both those facilities. So it's a well-run program, dementia focused as well. We have Lunch with the Bunch, which is your social support group. About 150 people there come together on a regular basis, and lots of groups with that, different places around the council area. What else have we got? Transport, so public transport for groups who want to use the council buses, but we also use the buses to transport people to and from programs. One-to-one support, so if we have people who need to go to medical appointments either within Wyndham area or into the city, they're there as well. So there's lots going on. Delivered meals, which Val spoke about. Yeah, I'm running out of breath.
I suppose, Barbara and Renee, like in the midst of the current crisis, from what I've heard, when you hear the chief medical officer speak, the aged and particularly these cohorts are some of our more vulnerable groups. How has your work changed over the last couple of months? And I don't know if you have the answers for this moving forward around what it looks like, but I suppose, going back to how you've had to adjust over the last, couple of months that have been a part of this crisis, I suppose.
Yeah, so there was advice from the authorities for older people and people with chronic illness to stay at home whenever they can. And that's a large cohort of the people that we do supply services to. So there was a lot of nervousness with the people that we provide service to and staff as well in regards to that advice. And it did become a little bit more complex to be able to provide that service. But, the last few months have been really busy, and the teams have really worked hard to look at innovative ways that we could deliver that service. So it's just some of them that, like a shopping service. So we do assisted shopping where we will take a resident out and we will take them to the supermarket and help them and assist them to buy their groceries and help them when they get home and etc. So we've been contacting a lot of clients that do that in the age brackets that they're advising to stay home, and just offering them unassisted shopping where they can write a list and the care workers will go out and buy the groceries for them and deliver it so that they can stay safe at home, and also trialling some online shopping options. So Renee's team as well, they've had to adapt to a lot of the way they provide services, because with the group services, they were coming in as groups, and that was one of the first things that the department advised, that we needed to suspend or look at different ways to run those services. So her team in group service has been really creative, and they've been doing individual home visits and phone calls and going out to see clients that would normally come into a group, and going out to their home and doing some amazing stuff with them. They've got a pen pal writing program where the people in the groups that used to come in and see each other will now write a letter, and the care worker will then take that to the next person, and then they can just keep in contact with that. There's been a lot of technology used to keep people in touch with family and friends, and a lot of the activities that they used to do in the planned activity groups was physical activities and, keeping their strength up and doing that kind of thing, where the care workers are now going into the home and doing that individually with each person. So it's really good in there. We've got photos coming in of the clients and the care workers doing that kind of stuff, and they've really, both have really adapted really well, and actually really appreciate that they're able to stay connected. They're able to continue to do some of the physical activity and the programs that they're used to, even though it's individual, but trying to keep them connected. So there's a lot of innovative stuff that's been going on. And it's also demonstrated that going into the future, there's a lot of what we're doing now in this space that we're hoping that we'd be able to continue after all of this is over as well. And new things keep popping up, like there's a lot of online exercise programs that we're looking at to roll out as well, that people, targeted at older people as well, or people with chronic illness, that they'll be able to do at home. So there's a lot of good stuff happening, and a lot of clients did also suspend services because of fear and, all the media that was going around. So we've been able to contact them directly and have phone calls with them and check in on them and check that neighbours or family are able to assist them. So, although they're not getting services, they've been able to stay in contact with the unit, and the feedback is that they're really appreciative of all of that. So, there's a lot of things that we've had to adjust, and there's, a lot of good that has come out of it. So, yeah.
That's amazing, Barbara. And between yourself and Renee, it sounds like, your normal role is so big and encompassing, but you've been able to change as well and adapt. So just well done and congratulations. But Amanda, what about you? How have you adapted to this COVID crisis, as we're calling it, and your department?
Yeah, look, I think at first it was a bit of a struggle because my role is very much out there in the community. And when I couldn't go out in the community, I'm like, oh, okay, how do we do this now? Given our community centres were all closed, libraries were closed, spaces where I would normally meet community members, that wasn't really an option anymore. So we had to kind of think around how do we do this. Initially, it was a lot of phone calls, a lot of phone calls, just around the groups, and making sure, particularly those who were connected with the group, that they still could do that. So a lot of the groups have done some fantastic work. Some of them have, embraced technology like MS Teams and Zoom and various platforms like that have never ever used them before. Even just WhatsApp groups, a variety of kind of ways that the groups have been able to just to stay connected. I've been delighted that the community have just embraced this, given it has been such a difficult time for everyone. So yeah, there's certainly a lot of online Zoom yoga classes and painting classes, teaching classes and stuff online, which has been fantastic.
Look, I suppose, Barry, I'm sure there's many people out there that are very grateful for these ladies and the work that they do, but the time has come where we ask what they're grateful for, and like we do with every guest, Barbara, Renee and Amanda, we like to practice positivity and practice gratitude. So what are you finding that you're grateful for today? And I might start with you, Renee.
Yeah, I had a moment to reflect as to what am I grateful for, but something that I have said consistently since we've gone into this working from home space is I'm really grateful to have work. And it seems so simple, but I'm really grateful to be working at the moment. It keeps the mind ticking over. If my mind's not ticking, that's a whole different headspace for me. But I'm also grateful that my family are healthy. They're in a good space as well. They're in New Zealand, so they went from stage 2 to stage 4 in the stage, matter of 24 hours, 48 hours, and just watching how they went through things, I'm thinking, I'm okay, I can do this. So grateful.
Fantastic, and I didn't even notice the accent, Renee. So no, that's good. And I think we do at times forget how lucky we are to be where we are. So really appreciate that one. Barbara, what are you grateful for today?
Yeah, well, for me, it's a small thing. So what, this time has shown is I've been able to spend a lot more time with my family and my children. And we've been actually getting out to a lot of the natural environments in Wyndham, so which, you ignore on a day-to-day basis, but just going out to the Werribee South Cliffs, the Yuyangs, Werribee South Beach, and some of the other places in the west spot like Newport Lakes and Cherry Lake, and just getting them out and going for a walk. Like I've done a few walks with them, and it's just been a reminder to connect and get fresh air and enjoy the local places that we do have.
Fantastic, I love it, and what a great piece of advice for all of us now to do. So thanks, Barbara. Amanda.
I suppose for me, I'm grateful that my family have embraced technology. But given that they're all living in Scotland, you know, we have been doing this for some time, but not all of them. I've connected, you know, with my immediate family, but not so much the extended family. So this has been a really great time. We've been on doing Zoom quizzes and, you know, like what everyone's kind of getting up to at the minute. It's been really, really good to sort of connect with them. So I'm really grateful, especially the situation in the UK is not as great as here. So very grateful to be safe and glad that my family are safe despite the situation being, you know, a bit more challenging over there.
Fantastic. And what a wonderful thing about, and we've heard this from a number of people, but when there is that distance, and Renee, I'm sure you know you're sort of saying the same thing, to be able to connect so closely with family that are at a distance, that's fantastic. James, what about you today?
Yeah, look, I'm really grateful for, I suppose, you know, going back to what Barbara and Renee was saying, that the people out there that are still doing their work with everyone in the community and face to face. I'm really grateful for them and all the work that they're doing, and very fortunate that, you know, we've got those people and all the health workers out there that would be doing the same. But look, I suppose I'm working from home and behind a computer, so it's very hard for me to put myself into those shoes. So I'm grateful for them doing their hard work. So shout out to everyone as part of your teams, Barbara, Renee, and Amanda. So
Absolutely.
yeah, keep it up. But yeah, certainly grateful for others out there. Barry, what about yourself? What are you grateful for today?
Well, you know, part of our challenge is we do this daily, and having something grateful, and we do with the big and the small. And I'm going to small today. I don't think I've done this before, but if I have, I apologise. I'm really grateful for my coffee machine.
Oh yeah, I should have said that too.
I bought an espresso machine now. I think it was around 15 years ago, and it's still going strong. And I still love my long blacks from my espresso machine. And yeah, it's just it's something that you really enjoy each day. I love the weekends when I get up and I have my coffee while I'm reading the paper. Because I just have time to be able to do that. So yeah, my coffee machine and my coffees every morning. Love them. Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's brilliant. No, thank you for sharing, Amanda, Barbara, and Renee, and thank you for providing, you know, what is a really small snapshot of the fantastic work that you do today. And look, I know there's it's a bumpy road ahead, I'm sure, but with everyone in place at Wyndham, we're in good hands. So yeah, look, I'm not too sure if there's anything else that you'd like to leave us with, but you know, maybe something that you're looking forward to in the coming months as we sort of come back to normality.
Probably for me, it's a bit of a juggle. I'm currently at home, obviously working. I've also got a young daughter, so I'm doing homeschooling. I also have my dad here is stranded because he can't get back to Scotland because there's no flights. So, and not that I'm looking forward to not spending any time with him, but it will be nice to get into some sort of normal routine again where I'm not trying to juggle everything. That's probably where I'm at.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Renee?
I think seeing staff again, you know, face to face, and really seeing face to face and appreciation to them in that way is really important for me. It's probably a part of my culture as well, and I can't wait for that bubble to extend back to New Zealand. Just, you know, waiting.
Yes. Barbara?
Yeah, I'm a bit the same as Renee. I feel like I'm getting a bit of cabin fever working from home. So being able to connect and for my kids as well, like they've been doing a lot of their soccer training online through Zoom. So to be able to see them get back out onto the field and enjoy what like their daily life is going to be great too.
Oh, look, fantastic. Can I just say, I think we haven't I would love to explore with all of you the impact that you and your teams have on the community, and how much your teams are supporting vulnerable people during these difficult times. And we're all vulnerable, by the way, at the moment. So I just want to say, pass on our thanks through you to you and your teams. It's just amazing what you and your teams have been doing. So thank you very much. And thanks for today as well.
Yeah, no, thank you. They're doing an amazing job. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thanks for today. Thanks, James. It's been good to chat again today. Thanks, Amanda. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Renee. Thank you to watching again at this WynActive Webcast. As normal, we've heard great stories. We've heard some awesome things that people are doing to help others in our community as well. Stay safe, stay well, look after each other, and always keep smiling. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thanks.